For What It's Worth was recorded by Buffalo Springfield, and the lyrics start, "There's something happening here, but what it is ain't exactly clear." It's a song of protest and often used as an icon from the 1960s. If you're not familiar, I'm sure there are videos on YouTube, or you can watch Forest Gump and listen for it. I used the lyrics to title today's episode because we're in this series about change and we need to dig into what exactly is changing. It's not exactly clear from the outset as the song starts, but there are clues in an ancient Chinese myth and from a Nobel Prize winning chemist born in 1877. What you'll learn today is that the sounds of change have been ringing for a long time. We just need to stop and say, what's that sound? Welcome to the Fife Movement. I'm your host, Amanda Neely. This is the only movement that helps our generation create our own unique feminine and entrepreneurial path to financial independence. Thanks for joining us today. Let's go in chronological order and talk about the ancient Chinese myth from BC times, and then we'll talk about that chemist from the late 1800s, early 1900s. The Chinese myth is one of a monster called taotie, which is translated roughly into glutton. The taotie has an insatiable appetite and devours everything on earth. When there's nothing left on the earth to eat, it eats itself. In art, the taotie is often depicted as only having a head since it ate its own body. It's the perfect analogy for our money-based society. We've been converting more and more of the earth's resources into money. And when the Earth's resources run out, there's nothing to convert to money, it becomes a man-eat-man world. And who do you think is going to get eaten by whom? And then what happens when the head realizes that it cannot live without its body? Something to think about. But let's look at kind of the counter narrative, the Nobel Prize winning chemist born in 1877. He won the Nobel Prize in chemistry in 1921 for his research on radioactive decay. And then he started writing about economics. He was super critical of the prevailing belief that the economy is this perpetual motion machine capable of generating infinite wealth. His work has been built on to create a whole genre of economics called ecological economics, which recognizes that the economy is a subsystem of the Earth's ecosystem. The proponents advocate for keeping the expansion of the economy in check so that we avoid a situation like the taotie and instead create an economy for the common good, an economy that can exist within a finite world that doesn't assume that it can be infinite. Now, why are these two stories important to you and us in 2020, right? Because they illustrate what's really happening and how to change it. We can totally reject our inclinations to be like taotie and be so greedy to the extent that we eat ourselves. Instead, we can recognize that we live on a finite planet and we can spend, save, and invest accordingly. We also have the opportunity to create and live outside of the monetary system, where we're not converting the Earth's resources into money. Maybe we grow our own vegetables. Maybe we exchange our gifts with another's such that we live in a mutually beneficial relationship beyond the need for increasing production and beyond greed, right? Perhaps we even decide to do things that aren't profitable in the monetary sense, like conserving a forest for the sake of the animals who live there and for the sake of having something of beauty to look at. Now, perhaps talking about the planet and the environment and this whole ecological economics thing, like me, you start to think about change on a larger scale. And I think that's great. But I think these inclinations toward greed are for ourselves and toward preservation of the common good can be found in each of us. And it starts on an individual level. So my question for you today is this: Which one are you embracing and promoting? Greed or the common good? There's no judgment in that question. I'm just trying to raise our consciousness level beyond the need to put groceries in the fridge and cupboard, or and to a considering of longer term and larger societal impact of our day-to-day actions, personally and within our businesses. Are we creating the future that we will one day live? And what kind of future is it that we want to create and that we want to be part of creating with other people? To quote that Buffalo Springfield song again, there's battle lines being drawn, and nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Thanks for joining me and connecting with the Fife movement. As you go about your day today, remember, wealth is coming your way. Your quest is to prepare for using it well. For more tips on how to prepare, be sure to subscribe. And to connect with the community, visit fifemovement.com. And if my gift today has helped you, please pay the gift forward by sharing this content with a friend. My gratitude in advance. Oh, one more thing. To help this video be seen by more people, please hit the like button, and then we invite your participation and feedback in the comments.